TWM Podcast. I am hopefully the new permanent host of a show called Best of the Rest, which is this show. Just like a mongrel, I get the scraps. I'm Joseph Kingsley-Nyinah. Welcome to Best of the Rest. There's some business that I have to attend to. I would list all of the different podcasts that platforms that we have to, but basically every single one you can imagine we are on. Notable ones include Podbean and Spotify. Basically everyone else ribs Matty by doing his intro. At this point, I want it to be a bit different. If you like wrestling loot, you should definitely sign up to Squared Circle Box. If you use the code TWM and use, you get 10% off your order. So, that's really good. And you should do that. Joining me speaking about said scraps is yours and my favorite cheetah girl, Kyle James.
I am Cheetah-licious and I am here to review some shit.
Hey, how you been, Kyle?
I've been good. I've had a lot of lake water. Drunk some pink lemonade every now and again. It's been a wild day.
I'm drinking a Moscow Mule right now.
Ooh, fancy.
No, I just know my way around mixing drinks. Let's move on! And joining us for his first TWM podcast, and I said that twice for emphasis, it is Dei Owen. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm well prepared to be to put the final nail in the coffin of this sinking ship.
We're not sinking, we're rising.
A bit too harsh?
Rising.
It's definitely already sinking. They let us on almost weekly.
So I'm sorry for the damage I'm about to do, guys.
Don't worry, we'll just do even further damage and make it irreparable. Also, seeing as it's your first time, it's your round.
It's your round.
Hey.
You know what? I consider myself a nihilist and I'm depressed. Let's get involved. And we are here talking about this week's episode of NXT UK, which was good?
Yeah.
Kyle? Good?
I'll go with good.
Yeah.
It's one of the better ones.
I'm sorry to sound so surprised, but, it's been a year now, and I don't think I've really knocked the weekly TV shows ever really knocked my socks off. Right, so, first things first, we'll go in order. Imperium come out and announce that they are the bestest ever.
I agree with that sentiment.
I do not.
Great start.
Great start. Do you guys want to discuss why?
They stand for everything I stand for in wrestling. The mat is indeed sacred. It's just a ruddy shame that they were interrupted by quite clearly drugged up Gallus. They came out and made fun of Imperium's tracksuits, which, by the way, sell them on WWE Shop because I will pay that ridiculous money for glorified Adidas.
Yeah, that's 100%. On my notes, I've just got to read them out because I think it's pretty funny. Out come the Kool-Aid gang because of gimmick infringement. I don't know if you know this, but they're the Kool-Aid gang because their theme is constantly going, oh yeah.
I did not know this, and now this has changed the way I watch NXT UK, so the next taping is going to be fun.
Kyle, what were the highlights of this frankly hilarious Gallus promo?
Mainly the fact that they referred to Walter as Jolly Wally, and I was kind of bracing myself for a Where's Wally reference, but that did not happen.
I like the irony of Glaswegians making fun of someone's tracksuit.
But they were
just Glaswegians making fun of someone in general.
But
shade.
Very shady. Very shady.
Come on, we all know it's not the best part of Scotland.
There's only one other part of Scotland that people think.
To be fair to them, they were dressed better than Imperium. I'm sorry. Imperium, I can already feel your back coming up, but I'm just going to say this. Imperium, only if you were to see a member of Imperium by themselves, they would look dead. And it's true. Right. The fact that they're all together is one of them ones where, you need to be a collective for that to look good.
Not really. You could probably put Marcel on his own, and he would be the only exception.
Yeah, but Marcel's a ridiculously good-looking man. Anyway,
it's just not fair.
It's just honestly, those cheekbones should be illegal. Anyway, enough about Marcel Barthel, and more about Zaya Brookside, who's got more random zoom-ins on her video than a YouTube vlogger.
I love this whole YouTuber gimmick. It might be my favourite thing in NXT UK right now. I think the logical progression of the Zaya Brookside story at the moment is to start calling her Zayella and have her release an overpriced calendar on WWE Shop.
Should she just go full Instagram influencer? Like, you could start drinking diarrhea juice or wherever it is that Jamila Jamil is constantly protesting about.
Hey,
you should just start doing tag videos.
Yeah.
You should stop eating meals throughout the day. Here's one protein shake that will replace all nutrition you need.
By that, she means a laxative.
Oh, God. Also, I'm not sure if either of you peeped this during the promo. They just seemed to be one person stood by the ring in the background who kept turning to watch her record. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
I missed it because I had to take notes pretty quickly, but that's amazing.
She said she's going to challenge Kaylee Ray, or she's going to earn another opportunity at the NXT UK Women's Championship by stepping up to the plate of Kaylee Ray. So that'll be a fun match down the line.
It will. However, as the promo connoisseur, I will say that between this and the Shiny Shiny, that's double promo classes for the entire women's division.
The infamous Shiny Shiny promo. Now, how could we forget?
Now, give me a moment, because God bless the homeland, Ghana, and make our nation great and strong. Because Oliver
I knew you were going to do this.
Is here. He's also got an Ashton Smith with him, but Oliver Carter.
It's like Ghana and Manchester.
They face the grizzled young veterans, and you know what? Oliver Carter is really, really good. He is athletic AF, as my notes have it down.
Yes.
Can we see more of him, perhaps?
Well, he was put over massively in a bit, but we'll get to that. Yeah, but he didn't take the pin in this match. Ashton Smith did, because apparently Oliver Carter is made of glass. After one kick on the apron, he just went to sleep.
Look, everyone has a referee goal in mind. He might just want to pursue a career as becoming a WWE referee.
I hope not, man. I need another Ghanaian hero.
Hey, we can just bring up the fact that he didn't get pinned also makes him look better than Ashton Smith does right now.
Very true.
Yeah, he's basically Brock Lesnar.
Very true. We kind of glossed over it, but Grizzled Young Veterans showcase match, essentially. Them being huge dicks. At the end of the match, the Grizzled Young Veterans go and beat up the Black Star. What? It's
Joe, you can't make this about race again.
No, that's genuinely what we call our sports teams and stuff. There's a huge black star in the middle of the flag. But they are saved by I assume hugely over with both other members of this podcast, South Wales Subculture.
I'm from the south, so this makes sense for me.
I'm from the north, so it doesn't.
But you are Welsh. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
You're lumping us all in together.
Yeah.
This is xenophobia now.
We're all in this together. Anyway, I can't remember the rest of the words of that. After them,
I don't think anyone knows.
Sadly, I can, and I'm not going to recite them.
Nah, you're on your Cheetah Girls flex, innit?
I'll perform it for you at Progress on the weekend, boys.
My guy. After the Grizzly Young Veterans are run off by two smaller men. Sorry, it's the truth.
Not really. JD is quite small.
Yeah, I get. Oh yeah, choo. James Drake is a wanker because he was on the Zoe train. Grizzly Young Veterans tell Gallus to be more worried about them than the. Why have I written the final? Oh, I called them the final countdown because they are Europe.
Ah, very clever.
But claim that they have eyes everywhere. Gallus claimed they have eyes everywhere. What could that possibly be in people?
Are they gonna? I'm gonna pretend. I'm gonna have to pretend that I don't know what's happening.
Yeah. We may as well just mention you're at everyone.
Yeah. Probably should have broken the ice there.
Which is why he is Daddy Meltzer's favourite son.
So I'm going to redirect the question to Kyle. What do you think is going to happen?
I zone out and stop watching because I can't be asked to watch anything with Gallus.
Good.
Fair.
No, we've established this. Like, I found, like, last week, Gallus getting the tag titles kind of put them in the picture, but really, we just discussed, like, how they'd kind of dropped out of the major picture.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're going to find their way back into it anytime soon, even with the tag titles.
But it's interesting that their promo tonight essentially kind of turned them into a bit more of a tweener stable, if not completely face, because Jolly Wally is just great.
Their whole, like, fun-loving approach was a bit weird. I remember sitting there thinking, why are you being smiley and laughy? Like, you're meant to be dickhead heels.
Yeah, but I guess the only no one is a dickhead heel when you're up against Imperium. At some point in the show, because quite honestly, I've forgotten when it was, there was a Tyler Bate promo where he just puts over a bunch of the new talent there, including Ilya Dragunov, the Black Star, Ollie Carter, and A-Kid, who will wrestle next week. And they
inject that shit directly into my eyeballs.
However, they do another close-up on his face, which Kyle looks
gormless, as Matty said.
Yeah.
Like last week. No, I said it last week. He genuinely looks like he's like lost half of himself without Carlos Romo there.
Yep. Yep.
But then I also said last week, and I feel bad now, like, seeing this. I was like, oh, Carlos won't get booked by WWE. And then the day after that, A-Kid was announced to appear on NXT UK. I was like, oh, I sound evil now.
Yeah, he was pulled from Riptide for this. Let's just remember that.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Well, him and Pretty Deadly, so...
Yeah, true.
Ligero and Travis Banks have a match, which is good, and then they double pin each other, because why not?
I quite like, you know, how they presented as just kind of equal in ring. Like, the match was obviously based a lot around the mat work.
I agree. I'm not mad at it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Brentwood crowd were. Let's just get that out of the way. Like they just did not care. Like, the two biggest pops throughout this entire taping: one, when William Regal walked out; two, a Bray Wyatt advert. So you can imagine the disinterest they expressed at this finish.
Jeez, like Essex, man. What are you doing?
Let Matty find out that we are trashing Essex.
Nah, it's fine. He trashed. No, this is the thing. He trashed Brentwood. I'm trashing Essex, man. What I will say about the presentation when it made TV, because of course Dee was there, was that it was put over as must win. So, you know, I feel like they're going to do something with this. Do you reckon that they're going to tag together, or is one of them going to turn on the other?
Kyle, you take this one.
Oh yeah, you were there, weren't you? You can't say anything.
Fuck's sake!
No, genuinely, when I watched it, saw the double light pay, and I was just like, well, one of them's turning heel. And honestly, I'm not mad at either of them turning heel, because we've all seen Travis's work as a heel in Progress, and he does it phenomenally. I've recently seen Ligero work as the villain, and it's still great because he can talk now, guys. He can actually cut promos.
Yep. And he wasn't.
Yeah, like, they both have
of the. I've forgotten the name of that faction for Progress.
Oh, Origin.
Yeah, he wasn't bad. He wasn't a bad heel, but part of them.
Yeah,
but
they both have reasons.
Yeah,
like they both have legitimate reasons to snap if they do choose to do so. So it's an interesting one.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Oh, and I have a question for two people who are more learned in terms of watching wrestling than me, because even though I'm the oldest on this podcast, I've probably been watching wrestling for the least amount of time. Or I've watched the least amount of wrestling, because I think maybe Kyle may have started watching wrestling after I started, but he's definitely watched more. If there's a double pin in a triple threat, what happened?
Ooh. It's not possible, is it?
What do you mean?
Is it?
What do you mean it's not possible? Of course it's possible.
But is because like no DQ obviously becomes a stipulation, but at the same time, I don't know. That's an interesting one.
Okay, we'll think about it. We'll come back to it. Because now it's time to talk about our NXT UK main event where Trent Seven goes over Noam Dar in an absolute banger.
Starts a bit prematurely. Dar came out initially with the mocking Trent Seven's movements and with the fake British strong style towel, and then he drop kicks Trent Seven as he does his roll into the ring. That is the worst crime of all, and he should be imprisoned for it.
Right.
I kind of don't agree with that, because we've all seen like Trent's entrance many a time. No one is probably just as fed up with it as possibly some of the British fan base, if not the worldwide fan base, and just wants the action to start in the ring quicker.
Yeah, so clearly Noam just decided to, accelerate matters.
The devil has enough advocates, guys.
Yeah. Also, fairest comparison I think I'm ever going to make. Noam Dar is like the puppy that misbehaves, but you can't be mad at it.
While Trent Seven is just a silver fox.
Yeah,
Apart
very
from
true.
2K, in which case his hair's still brown for some reason.
Doesn't matter. They have a hair dye option on that game.
Fantastic. Despite the disadvantage, Trent decides to go ahead with the match with a fucking lariat.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that one was hurting.
Just avenging his loss to Matt Riddle, or at least trying.
Nah, definitely not happening.
Essentially, for the first chunk of this match is just Noam Dar being a dick, isn't it?
Yeah, and I kind of
Noam Dar being best boy.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, just being the dick that we all know and love, constantly yelling.
Best boy.
British strong style is dead. Grabbing fingers. All your friends have left you.
Element we haven't discussed. Noam kind of berates Trent throughout the match, and then tries using some of BSS's moves, which Trent immediately kicks out of.
Yeah. Tried to use the what was it called on commentary? The Noam Driver 95.
Fantastic.
Oh no! Did I miss that? I heard 95 and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I did not click that he'd actually dubbed it for Noam's name.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. Dickhead Noam Dar. Chef's kiss.
Nigel McGuinness definitely feeds into everything on commentary as well. The other week with the Pretty Deadly commentary where he literally ribbed them, and now Noam Dar's commentary.
Yeah.
He's just adding to the effect.
He literally made Tom Phillips corpse this week to the point where he was going, I quit. I can't remember what it was with, but it was possibly during the Grizzled Young Veterans match. But Tom was just going, I quit.
Trent ultimately gets to win with Bop and Bang from Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne's finger snap, and then a Burning Hammer. All three of British strong styles.
Yes,
Burning Hammer.
This is the first time that I noticed. The first time that I've noticed that the Burning Hammer is a pun. Call me a moron if you want.
You're a moron, Joe.
And he's not even from Birmingham.
It's Black Country. It's close enough. It's literally 2 junctions away on the M5.
Which explains why I love him so much, because I'm always supporting everyone black.
I was going to say, always bringing it back to race.
This podcast, and indeed all TWM podcasts, are brought to you by SquaredCircleBox.com, the only place for your monthly wrestling box needs. With things from superstars from WWE, AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, British Wrestling, Independent Wrestling, and loads more, it is the only place that matters if you want to get the best wrestling swag for a low, low price. That low, low price is just £25, people. What a bargain! And you can get snapbacks, t-shirts, magazines, DVDs, trinkets, whatchamacallit, doodads, you name it, they have it each and every month. And just because you listen to TWM, you sexy, sexy people, you get 10% off your first order. All you got to do is use the code TWM News in the checkout. Just use the code TWM News in the checkout for 10% off your first order at SquaredCircleBox.com.
spread? I said, why not spread the gospel of the TWM squad with some of our lovely merch over at Teespring? We have t-shirts for all shapes and sizes, hoodies, sweatshirts, mugs, stickers, and loads more. Also, just for listening to this podcast, you can get 10% off your order. I said using the code podcast. That's podcast. Once again, podcast in the checkout for 10% off at teespring.com/stores/TWM-wrestling-merch. That's right. Praise. Testify. Here we are with the main event. That's right. We are talking about the most consistent TV program that WWE has, Total Divas. Kyle, did you enjoy Total Divas this week?
Honestly, compared to previous weeks, it's given us like a clear dynamic of who to root for. This sounds really weird now that I'm saying this. Who to root for, who are the main bitches. But it seemed a bit of a weird cluster of an episode.
Yeah, it's just, just what, 4 plot threads? Speaking of, this summary will be split up into chunks of what happens to whom, right? Because that apparently that's how my mind works. I watched it and then forgot what order everything was in, but I remember what happened to each person. I'm a strange man.
Don't worry, I've watched it like literally a couple of minutes ago and I'm still exactly the same. It's just like, yeah, let's just discuss it.
Yeah, let's just start. Now, the one thing that I do know is that Total Divas begins with Nia Jax continuing her heel turn by flipping out at an in-kayfabe promo by Ronda Rousey. Oh, jeez. Kyle, what do you make of it?
I think I mentioned it last week where it was just like, well, Ronda said she doesn't care who she offends, like, doing, like, these promos, and Nia seems to be the only one pressed about it.
I mean, like, you did have Sonya last week, but I think, Sonya sorted it out on her own head and was just like, yeah,
she
this is
seemed to have a lot of her own stuff going on as well.
Nia or Sonya?
Sonya, because she had the whole thing with the injury going on at the time as well.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So she just kind of let it go, but Nia,
bad news on bad news.
Yep. So, but Nia just kind of, she's dwelling on it. It's not really very good. Natalya thinks something is up with Nia Jax because she says she has changed.
Well, with Natalya currently going through what she's going through at this point, when something's up with her, so I feel it's probably very easy for her to pick up on others going through the same thing.
Yeah. And I'm gonna jump ahead to what happened to Naomi because I remember this vague, and we're just gonna go through it because Naomi is in charge of the. Wait, Kyle, have you watched many series of Total Divas?
I've watched series 1 and 2. I remember watching series 3. I dipped in and out, and I've kind of been on hiatus with it because I was like, no, kind of not my thing. Because I used to watch reality TV all the time, Jersey Shore, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Went off a period of not watching it and then got back into this just because weird amalgamation of everything going on, refreshing kind of viewing. And this is really good.
Yeah. Like I said, most consistently booked show that the WWE have right now. But I'm going to jump ahead to Naomi's segment. That was sorry, I was going to ask you a question. Is there a girls trip every series?
From what I remember, yeah. The first series had basically the birth of Brie Mode with Brie Bella getting drunk. Easy. And then I think it was a trip to Cavo or something in the second series, and that's what I remember.
Yeah, well, the Bellas have gone now, and they always arrange the girls' trips. So Naomi notices that the Iconics are feeling homesick, and so she takes up that mantle and organizes a trip to... Where would you organize a trip to for 2 Australian girls feeling homesick, Kyle?
Fort Worth.
Yeah, but just definitely not Pensacola, Florida.
Isn't Naomi from Pensacola, though, so it made sense? She's Orlando, isn't she? She's Orlando.
Yeah, it's her husband and their family who are from Pensacola. But, Jimmy Uso rightly mocks her for it, but he's slapped down and he's forced to pay for it.
I mean, well... budget, WWE money, I feel like they're both going to be okay.
I feel like they're going to be okay, but it is enough to drive a man to drink, isn't it?
Well, not the Iconics.
The Iconics, because Sonya can't make it for reasons. So Naomi and someone who I'm going to refer to them by their full title for the rest of this. Chaotic Neutral Liv Morgan.
Absolute queen. Liv Morgan is the thread keeping this whole series together.
if you say, well, she's definitely a thread through this entire series. But they sort out a big Australian welcome for Billy and Peyton, but they use British flags.
That popped me so hard. I was just like, did neither of them know what the Australian flag is?
Wow.
It's Commonwealth, close enough.
Yeah, it's the thought that counts, isn't it?
Yeah, but close but no cigar.
Yeah. And like you said, proving that their women's division is breaking down barriers in all walks of life, the Iconics revealed that they don't drink.
Good for them, though. Like, in this day and age, when you see a lot of like these reality TV series over the last couple of years, like, it's always been about the big girl nights out. And then just to see the contrast of the Iconics to these, where they just wanted to, like, get home and go to bed by the end of it after not drinking.
Mm-hmm. Like, did you see that GIF that was going around before this episode aired of just Peyton someone's like, let's get shots, and it's just Peyton just shaking her head. Just like, no. No, please.
God. I can only imagine that, just literally looking at shot glasses being like, no more. Please, no more. No more WKD shots. No more Fireball. Lawson would be very annoyed. He loves main event shots.
Oh, it's true. He does. Shout out to our boy Lawson.
Real standito.
Right. Where were we? We were with. Oh yeah. Well, it doesn't stop the rest of them though. Like, they throw some shrimps on a barbie. They're doing shots. Nia rocks up. It's a madness.
It's nice to see a room full of people that do not hate Nia Jax for once, and that Nia Jax doesn't have issues with.
Oh, well, that's good. When Nia turns up to the girls' trip, all she wants to do is talk about work, and Naomi also picks up on it, which she would, because they're technically related.
Oh yeah, like kind of Samoan families, like, isn't it? They kind of brought together by that unity.
Yeah. Unity! Oh, remember that?
Team Bad, remember that. Also, may I just add, as someone who recently has gone on a tirade about work, I can completely relate to Nia Jax having issues.
Yeah, fair enough. I spent yesterday having a tirade about work, actually. It's just, yeah.
It's relatable. Like, everyone says, like, compartmentalize it. Don't bring it to work with you. Don't take it home with you. But it's kind of hard to do in this day and age.
It really is, because if you think about it, you spend as much time asleep. Like, apparently a human being spends most of their life asleep to be able to function, but you spend as much time asleep as you do at work.
I've probably spent more time asleep, not gonna lie.
Well, lucky you, Kyle. Lucky you. Right. So, after a good night out, though, Nia Jax starts to relax again.
It's a good thing. Like, they even said that, like, she felt like the old Nia compared to the one constantly picking up people. Although I really want to see how she interacts with Carmella now, because that feud still seems to have not been resolved.
Oh, no. Like, Carmella took a break from the big group this week, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But, yeah. Right. So, like I said, all the rest of them on a big night out. And, of course, Chaotic Neutral Liv Morgan invites a bunch of guys back to Naomi's on the following day.
Did you not see how many guys there were? Liv pulled about 10 times over.
Incredible scenes.
Seriously, can she just wing woman the lot of us?
Well, wing woman you. I don't know what.
Oh yeah, you don't need that.
I need that. I am a good Christian boy in a happy relationship. Yeah. I can't even keep a straight face when I'm saying that. Also, Hot Jeff Shreves is just doing the most.
Yeah, true.
Just to remind everyone, Hot Jeff Shreves is Charlie Caruso.
She's always there, once again.
She's always there. She's always there. She's always down for a good time. She's always asking awkward questions.
She is literally... we know we said it's like compartmentalizing. She is literally taking her work home with her.
Yeah. Right. So the next day, the guys turn up with a keg, and Billy and Peyton, like you said, just want to go home and sleep. So
they properly bailed.
They see a keg, they're just like, nah.
It's like, lol, fun fam, peace out, bro.
It's just, and you know what? Fair enough. The weekend wasn't what they imagined. When Naomi said, "Calm down, we'll chill out, it'll be a girl's time." So yeah, peace out. Full respect.
I'd like to say though, like, chill out and full night out completely sound like two opposite scales. So I can imagine the confusion that the Iconics had for all of that.
Yeah, yeah, it's, you're invited to one thing and it turns into something else. I won't specify a time or a place, but there's definitely been times when, because I drink, but there's definitely been times when I've been invited to a drink up, and within 15 minutes of me getting there, there's just hard drugs on the table. So you know what? Yeah, I get it. I don't do one of those things. So yeah, right. So So Naomi feels like a failure because this entire girls' trip was organized for Billy and Peyton. They've left. But a newly rejuvenated face Nia Jax confirms the face turn with that most face of actions, vandalism.
It's just one of those weird things when you looked at it. How the hell, like, Naomi cleaning, like, the entire party, picking up after all these people, with the glummest look on her face. Nia breaks something, and then she's just like, oh, wait, this is just what happens. Vandalism does not happen casually.
Well, no, like, this is the thing. Vandalism did happen casually. That was the point.
It was
Naomi was getting stressed. But Nia Jax is... you know what? I just imagine Nia Jax's motto is... when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. She just brute forces everything.
Well, she is the wrecking ball, isn't she? Mm-hmm. Her nickname is the Wrecking Ball.
She is not like most girls, is she?
No, because most girls do not decide to break things casually. Apart from their boyfriends' hearts. Too real.
No, that's fine. Right, so like I'm saying, after the good night out, Nia's back, and she's back to her supportive self. She apologizes to Ronda Rousey and confides in her that her bad behavior was down to insecurity about her wrestling. I have never heard anyone say anything bad about Nia Jax's wrestling in my life. Have you, Kyle?
Definitely. And you could not see my face, but you could probably hear by my voice that I am very sincere about everything that I am saying right now.
Mm-hmm. However, she is going to try and fix things by trying high flying at the Performance Center next week, which I'm sure will go perfectly.
No, genuinely, I heard that. I was like, what can go wrong except everything?
Like, is she gonna get Tamina to teach her the Superfly Smash? Because no,
but I want to say as well, we discussed this last week, like when we were like, oh, Liv Morgan got injured via stripper pole. Maybe this is like how Nia's like injury happened, which has taken her out for a long time, because it all seems to be coming together because of Total Divas. Total Divas is giving us that fly on the wall that we need.
100%, and that is, like I said, number one best book show that the WWE has, top to bottom.
It's the only one with completely thorough booking that like programs from a week-to-week basis.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Ronda is stressing about Nia's tantrum.
Yeah, she does a lot of stress.
And she's talking about elevating the division. I go back to that weird Jericho thing where early in his career he called an opponent old, and an entire locker room chastised him for it.
I made my point on the matter like last week. I'm not going to mention it again.
Exactly. It's not. Yeah. Her husband, I forgot. Is his name Travis?
Travis. His name is Travis. That is like a very redneck name.
It mentions life after wrestling, so they go and look at a clothing line in Vegas they can put their name on or something. Honestly, I can't lie to you. I wasn't really paying attention to her under bits. So they bored me. Do they bore you?
Over the last couple of weeks, no. But this one was more like less about. I just like double negative myself. More or less about this. No, it was kind of less about Ronda's career, but kind of more about what she's going to do after it, because I think she basically, like most people realize, she wouldn't be able to do this forever and needs something like substantial. Like Maurice and Nikki Bella have real estate like careers that they can fall back on. If you look at a lot of these like wrestlers, like Charlotte is second gen, so she's landed for her career. Becky Lynch once worked as an airline stewardess. So they've all had like side jobs, but at this point we don't know what they go into like after they're done.
Yep. Like Nia's also part of a wrestling family. Carmella might go back to like dance. I don't know.
Yeah, it seems to make sense. Like there were a few moments about that.
You know, just, but you know, yeah, maybe like what I'll say is it didn't really do much for me. But you know, I just watched Total Dream at Divas for the drama, and there was very little drama in this bit.
It's your EastEnders, really.
No, I think you'll find my EastEnders at this point is Friday Night SmackDown, and isn't that depressing? Our podcast on Friday Night SmackDown every Saturday on Smack Talk, a completely originally named show.
If you can't plug yourself, who else can?
True. It's so true. And if you're not plugging yourself, then anyway, let's move on.
No, that's definitely...
Right. A lot of their dialogue, you know, is about having babies, which the voiceovers barely acknowledge, which is really strange. Also, Travis would just be like, so what do you want to eat, Ronda? And Ronda will be just like, pregnancy.
Oh, no, there is a lot of like talk about the two of them wanting to start a family. And it's like, okay, we understand this, but does it have to be fed to us every single episode? Because even a couple of episodes ago, when Marina Shafir had little baby Troy over at the ranch, Ronda's just like, I want one. And it's just like, yeah, we understand this by now. We don't need to know that you want to pop a sprog.
Like, I understand why she expressed her emotion immediately. That baby is undisputedly one of the cutest things she's ever seen.
Yeah, probably.
Sorry, everyone. Right. So Ronda says she can't get involved that she's with something that she's not interested in, but decides she's interested in this, which is nice, but a bit weird to me.
Not to me, because the apparel thing is kind of... It feels like it's Travis's dream, and she wants to like support her husband as well, but it does feel like a coupley thing, because she's also got the whole thing of, oh, he's the one who wants to do apparel, but I want like young girls. I want like young girls to like not have the issues I did finding clothes that fit, like when they're like training.
Oh, okay, yeah. You know what? You sold me on it. You know what? Ronda Rousey.
Ronda Rousey, good egg, I say.
Good egg. Great decision. Not a fan of all of her decisions, but this one is a good one.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and now we come to possibly the most compelling story of the episode. I don't know if you agree with that or not.
Possibly.
Carmella.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Carmella wants to stay inside with Corey Graves. Corey, like a madman, says no.
I never thought I'd ever see in my life the role switch that we needed of the man wanting to go outside and the woman wanting to stay in.
To be honest, I think that's the dynamic with me. Anyway, no insights on this guy. To be fair to him, he had a really, really decent shit planned.
Yeah. There just seems to always be a spanner in the works, though, just because the two of them cannot have a moment of privacy. Oh my God, world, leave them alone.
Oh, well. If I was a real dick of a devil's advocate, I'd say public figures, yada, yada, yada. But you know what? Let them live their life, innit?
It's one of those things, though. Granted, they're in the public eye. But it's the moment of where, oh, you can clearly see they're doing something. Leave them alone. Especially, in a situation like this, where... Well, we saw what happened. Carmella got called a homewrecker, basically, by someone random in the street, who none of us saw, so it may have been a Total Divas producer.
True!
Just for the lols.
Oh my God! Yeah, I was thinking, should I bring this up? I'm not going to bring this up too much. But yeah, I definitely feel like... Don't you feel like that? You know what? We'll get to it. Look, the first really cool thing that Corey unplanned looked dope, and if there's anything like it in London, I'm going to find it immediately. It's a bespoke chocolate shop, which makes chocolate and truffles in any shape you want.
I was going to say, don't London have bespoke chocolate shops? Isn't it called Thornton's?
Thornton's is not a bespoke chocolate shop.
I don't get out enough. I wouldn't know this.
Fair enough. Anyway, but it's pretty incredible chocolate, regardless of what you say. But it's ruined by a woman yelling homewrecker and taking photos, apparently, even though we do not see them at all.
It's very reality TV booking. It's just going to be like, we're going to make this staged as fuck. It's like, I'm going to throw in a tie to another reality TV show. There was a moment many years ago in Jersey Shore where Snooki and Dean are at a bar and someone throws ice at them. And then they start accusing the bartender, but it clearly comes from in front of them, and the bar is behind them. So it's like I keep saying, as much as this is reality TV, it's got TV in the name, and a lot of these moments do feel placed just for the reactions.
Best, and this is why Total Divas is so good. I was going to do clapping, but I'm actually going to do Total Divas is so good because it is produced by people who are used to trying to pull the wool over people's eyes.
You on about the E-Network or the Kardashians?
About the E-Network collaborating with the WWE?
Yeah, true. Everything is kayfabe.
Everything is kayfabe. Everything is wrestling until it's not.
Everything is wrestling.
Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Anyway.
Yeah, everything is cool when you're part of TWM. Plug ourselves again.
Yes. Right, so the second cool thing that Corey has planned is awesome. It is a private dance class between him and his dancer girlfriend who misses dancing. That's incredible.
He clearly had to know that. I mean, they've been going out for a little while, and as much as Carmel...
He's known her professionally for, how long?
Since NXT.
Wrestling career, right?
She was brought into NXT, I want to say, in 2013, 14, possibly.
And he was commentating there then?
Yeah, so they've got to have known each other by now for at least 5 years.
So, this is stuff that he just knows. He might have even still been wrestling when she came into the Performance Center.
Yeah, because she would have been brought in, to train, and he might, not have had the major concussion that took him out, of commission to wrestle.
It's been a while. They've got a good foundation there, I honestly wish them the best. However, the person who doesn't wish them the best is the absolute vulture who asked for a picture of the two of them to go in the local paper.
Where did she come from?
Where did she go? Where did she come from?
Cotton I know.
Yeah, she looked like a hardened journalist who was after a story,
she
right?
She looked like my nan.
She didn't look like my nan.
Genuinely, she just seems like the most innocent lady. This is going to be can we put your picture in the newspaper? Seriously, where did you come from? How did you know this was happening? This was meant to be private. Total Divas producers, we know that you're watching. Stop leaking what they're doing.
Here's the thing. I actually think that it's probably someone backstage at WWE that we've never seen before. I think there's a chance that this is a plant too.
Yeah, probably.
Right. So Carmella understandably doesn't take any of this well and is basically whenever they're in the car during the day, she is stressing out about being called a homewrecker and how she is publicly perceived. Which, it's a really terrible situation to be in when people are saying stuff which just for you, there's no chance for you to give a rebuttal.
No, and there's no way that they can do anything. She's mentioned previously that they can't speak up. I can't even speak. Speak up about this. Irony when I'm trying to say the word speak.
Yeah, but it's just one of those things. However, the savior of misbehavior gets his shit together for dinner, and he books a private room and filled it with flowers because he wasn't sure which was our favorites. Just basically knocks the day out of the park.
I think genuinely the best idea he had for all of this, after the two of them constantly being spotted, was, I'll go in first. You come behind me.
Oh, that, yes. Yes.
It took him a whole episode, but he finally managed to work it out.
Yeah, but it is a little bit me and Mrs. Jones, though. But
I wish it was more like Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Can you imagine that? The two of them as Brad and Angelina.
those two.
Corey's got the style to like be Brad Pitt.
Yeah, it was more that I think they did the majority of their own stunts, and he's a concussion away from.
Wow.
Anyway,
I said too real earlier. That's too real.
Yeah. Right. So, this part of the date, anyway, goes so well that number one, Carmella decides to stop hiding that they're together because she realizes she's got an absolute gem in Corey Graves. That's kind of up to the world to decide. No comments here. And number two, she decides not to eat too much so she can function.
I think the best part of that date was the moment that they realized it was going well, and she literally says that she wants some of that dick. Why is dick not censored on American TV?
Idea. Maybe they just think it's short for Richard.
Well, she is definitely getting to see his little Richard. Ooh!
A wop babaloo bop, a wop bam boom. Right. Honestly, until she spoke explicitly about Corey Graves' dick, I wasn't sure that steak was a good dinner before a house show, but it's got to be better than Alicia Fox's diet plan.
Oh, I really don't know how to react to that one.
Oh, it is what it is. Anyway, everyone, please follow us on all of our social media platforms. We are on Instagram, we are on Facebook, and we are on Twitter. We have written content up, and we have podcasts up almost every day. I do believe that most Sundays we do not. Kyle, do you want to give your social media?
I need to stick to reality people. So I'm going to say follow me on Adrienne Bailon.
Right. I would like to, you can follow me at ankle locked. And he put, it's not actually my Twitter account, please, but he put up a video of, what was it? Yeah, it was Kurt Angle's TNA years, set to the song that starts with "Need a Perk to Get Started."
Oh, why haven't I seen this? If there's anything I love, it's a mashup of wrestling videos to random tunes.
Right. I'm going to send you that after this. It might possibly be on this podcast to start with, but you need to follow the entire company at TWM Wrestle. We've got, like I said, we've got some really, really incredible things coming up, which may or may not include our terrible coverage of that terrible.
Why does your mic not want to talk shit on Crown Jewel?
You know what?
Is your mic funded by Saudi Arabia?
I bought it from PC World, so maybe.
Yeah, that's definitely North Korea.
Look, intro, but my mic is trying to fuck on me. And a 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 fuck on me.